What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Papo Jr. Thank you for clicking on the video. This is the Ring Out podcast. Today, I'm gonna react to 32 minutes of WWE fans hijacking matches. This channel's from Wrestling Flashbacks, man. Subscribe to them, check them out, all that good stuff. They put out good content. I watched them before. I haven't reacted to them on this channel yet, but I watched them before. Great content these guys put out. 32 minutes, people hijacking the matches, man. People pay to be there. They want to be part of the show. When they see something, they're gonna call it out. Not all the fan base do that. Not every city does that. New York does it, Chicago does it, Boston does it, LA does it. You know, somewhere in Texas they do it. I believe Houston they do it. Miami they do it as well. Come out, all the real wrestling cities out there, man. Pittsburgh, Philly, all that good stuff, man. Everybody else, y'all be on your hands and fucking knees, sitting nicely on the, just Cleveland. Shout out to Cleveland as well, man. If I didn't name y'all city, y'all need to turn up, man. But ladies and gentlemen, I ain't gonna waste your time, man. Let's do this, man. 32 minutes of this shit. Let's go.
Let's begin with someone
I skipped the intro. Let's get to it.
This list, John Cena. Cena was receiving polarizing reactions in 2006, a year removed from becoming the WWE's top guy, and exactly 12 months on from winning the WWE title at WrestleMania 21 in 2005.
I watched that live.
John was met with his harshest crowd yet at Mania 22, facing Triple H in the wrestling hotbed of Chicago. It was going to get a lot worse.
Chicago, like I said.
But this was where numerous fans first began to say they'd seen enough of Cena. The night before at the Hall of Fame, John was booed out of the building. Cena would later admit that he didn't know how to deal with such a response at this point in his career.
I remember turning to Vince and like, what am I supposed to do? He goes, just go out and smile.
But after a great speech inducting footballer William Refrigerator Perry,
it's good to see Triple H's immediate family in the house. Thank you very much for coming.
John was able to turn the crowd by the end, a skill he would only get better at as time went on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the WrestleMania 22 match began with an electric crowd yelling "F you, Cena."
And if John Cena wins here tonight, he's going to disappoint a lot of fans. Listen to this.
That was followed by "You can't wrestle" chants.
That gulp. I remember those days, man.
The "na na 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 hey 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 goodbye" song could briefly be heard.
I got tired of Cena at that time too. That Super Cena shit. Oh, Super
Then
Cena.
you hear one of the first instances of the iconic "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" dueling chants.
As a kid at that time, bro, I was enjoying the fans going crazy. Cena sucks. Let's go Cena. Me, I didn't care. I was just having a good time hearing that from the fans.
A yeah boo spot preceded the match's closing stages.
And then
downstairs. Cena now, standing toe to toe. This may not bode well.
John got a pop after submitting the game to retain the WWE title.
And then as time went on, I started to hate Cena even more. I'm like, nah, fuck this guy. Super Cena. I got sick and tired of him.
Cena then faced the Chicago crowd again the next night on Raw.
stop the music. I want to hear this.
Triple H was once again tasked with putting over the new Golden Boy at WrestleMania 32. However, this time around the match wasn't as good and the crowd reaction was even more negative for the game's opponent. Roman Reigns had been getting similar polarizing reactions to the one Cena got years previous. The difference was Roman was a lot further behind where John was at the same stage.
This
that being said, the WWE did everything to force Reigns down the fans' throats, only to be met with backlash. And Mania 32 in Dallas was a prime example. The main event began with Roman being told he sucks.
Roman still suffering from that low blow.
The crowd then started to ignore the bout, chanting for NXT.
Any mistake here?
And he realizes he's got to get the champ back in the ring to have any.
Look at this.
As well as NXT wrestlers such as Shinsuke Nakamura, who had just debuted 2 days
Black
prior.
and gold.
And the official check.
Black and gold days were fucking great, bro. And this Roman Reigns, oh man, the big dog, oh my God. I remember one time I was at my boy's house. We were watching Raw. There was a segment between him and Big Show. And before he said what he said, Roman, I was like, yo, Roman's gonna be the future of this company. And all that. Then he gave the Jack and the Beanstalk type of fucking story to the Big Show. And I was just sat there. I just sat there just like embarrassed after before, because I praised Roman Reigns that he's gonna be the future, he's gonna be the man, he's the guy, he's the gold and all that. He's gonna be the gold and all that. And then he gave that promo to Big Show. My boys looking at me, laughing at my face. But then we got the tribal chief. And then it felt good seeing that. I'm like, wow. It took him to turn heel. We all wanted him to turn heel. That big dog shit was not working. Shoving Roman down our fucking throats, man. Seriously. We were hating it so much. When he won the Rumble, The Rock raising his hand, he got booed. I was hating it. I was like, fuck this guy. And The Rock was like, what the fuck? You know? And he turned tribal chief, and I'm like, finally. Finally. Type shit.
And the man Nakamura wrestled in his debut, Sami Zayn.
Triple H just crawling around at ringside.
Yeah, because the
There were
NXT
even chants for
pay-per-views
Chad Gable, Jason
before
Jordan,
WrestleMania
but it was
was
noticeable how WWE began to turn the crowd volume down.
the NXT pay-per-views before the big pay-per-views for the main roster. They were way better. The takeovers, they were way better than the big pay-per-views the main roster had. Takeovers was so much fun, so much electric. The main roster wished at that time they had.
For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the champion Triple H, the challenger Roman Reigns.
Reigns got his big win on the night, but it would be another 4 years until he really found himself as a character and
Yes.
was universally accepted by the fans. In both his programs with Reigns and Cena, Triple H was one of the last huge stars fans watched in the Attitude Era that was still wrestling. Fans in the Attitude Era were known for their X-rated chants that made the shows back then even better than they already were. They weren't taking away from the matches or segments, but rather adding to them with the right kind of heat and chants. The July 3rd, 2000 episode of Raw from Orlando, Florida featured a trademark Attitude Era crowd. The 13,000 fans in attendance made noise the whole show and gave us some brilliant chants throughout the night.
Broke Bob Holly's arm. I gotta give Bob Holly credit. We all know how tough he is. Can you imagine finishing the match?
Shane McMahon was greeted on stage by being called an asshole.
We're still chanting it.
And Shane's a
The audience then
pussy.
noted Shane O'Mac's cat-like abilities, so to speak.
Feet in the air. Stop
There you
it.
go.
Please, shut up. Show some respect.
The Orlando crowd also had a bit to say about
Aw.
Shane's sister Stephanie.
Don't you remember how good Raw was when we come out here? Triple
Back
H
then
was
was
there?
nuts.
We even
They
got
won't
to see
chant
a
that
signature
nowadays.
ECW-inspired chant aimed at Steph.
Hot hands by the Intercontinental Champion. Finding their mark on the game.
Speaking of ECW, we'll get to some of their iconic hijacking of shows under the WWE umbrella later, but let's first look at a show titled Three-Way Dance that the original ECW fans hijacked back in 1995 at the ECW Arena in South Philadelphia. The crowd buried Sabu the whole night after he no-showed the event to take a booking in Japan. That's despite him being advertised to appear in a big match on the ECW card long in advance.
Sabu had told me the week before that he was being booked in Japan.
The people absolutely let him have it and didn't stop constantly chanting F Sabu.
You showed up tonight. Not like the Sabu.
Yeah.
Sabu was eventually welcomed back, but it just goes to show what happens when you upset the rabid ECW fanbase. The original ECW fans were definitely at their rowdiest in their home base of Philly. But these fans would be ashamed of how the Pittsburgh crowd 300 miles away behaved during the main event of Extreme Rules 2018. Dolph Ziggler defended the Intercontinental Championship against Seth Rollins in a 30-minute Iron Man match. The clash is best remembered for the audience constantly counting down while viewing the clock.
No doubt. The WWE fans counting down with the clock here.
Counting down makes sense in a Royal Rumble, where a new wrestler enters every 2 minutes or so, but for an Iron Man match, it's pointless for fans to count down unless it's the actual final 10 seconds of the bout. Fans kept counting along in the Rollins-Ziggler match, forcing WWE to remove the clock from the big screen. But this didn't stop the crowd from still continuing and even demanding the clock return.
Over the zigzag again. We're now down.
Getting rid of the clock only made things worse.
They said
The fans
something
were now
there.
counting down at random intervals, continuing to ignore the match.
And we're down the King's
Right,
Lane.
but if the first 15 minutes taught us anything,
The audience then cheered as the clock returned.
We're under 10 to go.
Countdowns then continued
Nobody
until
gave
the
a
finish.
shit about the
Back
match.
and even. The final 3 minutes.
Both emerged victorious in overtime, putting an end to what should have been a show-stealing match from the wrestlers, but was stolen by the crowd instead. The WWE main roster hasn't booked an Iron Man match since as of 2024. Rollins is certainly no stranger to fans hijacking one of his pay-per-view main events. His match at SummerSlam 2016 to crown the first ever Universal Champion was marred by chance directed at how the new belt looked. The title had recently been unveiled, so the Brooklyn crowd began to voice their displeasure at the belt's appearance.
You need to. It's a different level of aggression. Watch out! Balor on the barricade!
In fact, they would find numerous unique ways to proclaim how the belt sucks, including through song.
Great strategy by Balor here as Rollins tries to...
The sing-alongs continued as the people asked for a new belt.
His mom, Leone, his dad, Fintan.
Then the audience got personal, calling the poor belt stupid.
For many fans who like to partake in fantasy booking,
It only got worse for the inanimate object by getting told it sucks in a more direct way.
18 years old, winning the NWA British Commonwealth heavyweight.
The match was completely secondary. The crowd started chanting delete and booed any time the title was visible on screen.
For everything that Finn Balor has done, Seth Rollins.
Balor came out the winner, but it was Rollins that responded online to the Brooklyn fans, disappointed at how they negatively hijacked the bout, not because of disinterest or poor booking like is usually the case, but simply because of how the belt looked. We'll see plenty more from Brooklyn crowds later, but let's stay in New York for our next entry as we go to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden.
And that's probably why they haven't done a fucking pay-per-view in Brooklyn ever again. We haven't had a fucking pay-per-view over here in a long time, man. The fuck, bro? We get in a fucking Raw in Madison Square Garden, but we can't get a fucking pay-per-view over here anymore. What the fuck is going on? And no, I'm not counting MetLife either. Fuck that. That's in Jersey, not in New York.
Survivor Series 2011 saw CM Punk challenge Alberto Del Rio for the WWE Championship. The match began with "We Want Ice Cream" chants, a reference to a line in a Punk promo from a few months prior.
I want you to bring back the WWE ice cream bars.
Oh, AEW got him back.
Ice cream bar.
Punk's then best friend Colt Cabana also got a mention.
And then Punk locked in the Anaconda device and made Del Rio agree to this match.
The crowd were hot for Punk the whole match and got behind him during a yeah boo exchange.
Style of CM Punk, he can use his legs, his weapons, just as well as his arms. So look at Punk go.
After Punk paid tribute to Randy Savage with the patented top rope elbow, MSG chanted Macho's name.
CM Punk.
oh, guys, gotta be wondering what is it gonna take.
Upon securing the victory to become the new WWE champion, Punk showed appreciation for his supporters by diving over the barricade into their arms. It capped off a strong contest that the Garden thoroughly enjoyed. Fans in the United Kingdom are right up there with
he ain't doing that anymore after what he did.
Crowds. The Brits were fantastic at Money in the
Hurt
Bank
his leg in
2023
AEW.
London, especially during the main event where the Usos wrestled the heel Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. 18,000 strong in the O2 Arena could be heard singing Jimmy and Jey Uso's entrance music.
2016, before they linked up with Roman Reigns.
Head of the table Reigns was welcomed with cries of "F you Roman." We then heard an
this is what
interesting
Cena
name
came
for the
out.
Tribal chief.
At the end of the show.
The tirades towards Roman were relentless and didn't stop. Reigns was in enemy territory and receiving the right kind of heat. It was like being at a UK football match as the songs kept coming.
But again, how do you expect to be treated? Roman Reigns.
People thought it was BS when it seemed as though Roman and
That
Solo
was
were about to
fucking
win.
great.
What Roman Reigns predicted. Smash him.
All four men put in a shift and the audience showed their gratitude as the bout neared its conclusion. London erupted when Roman was pinned for the first time in 3.5 years, courtesy of Jey. It was one hell of a way to cap off.
Also, it wasn't this. This wasn't the one then. The Cena came out.
Cover by Jey.
WWE done away with
This wasn't the one, I
starting
think.
in 2024.
I think Roman won a match and then Cena came out at
so
the
many
end.
Premium live events were taking place outside of the United States. One of the best was Backlash from Lyon, France. It starred one of the greatest crowds.
Lyon
of all
went
time.
crazy.
Right from the kickoff event, we knew there were going to be something special.
Lyon went crazy. And they going back to Paris.
Then when the pay-per-view
Was it
opened up,
August?
Lyon gave us an unforgettable rendition of Randy Orton's Voices theme song. If Orton's entrance wasn't spectacular enough, Jey Uso's was downright out of this world.
I got goosebumps right now looking at this, man.
The crowd's
Leon
behavior for
went
both
crazy.
entrances set the tone for all future audiences to try and replicate. Instead of the traditional yeah boo spot, there was a yeet no yeet battle since Jay was involved.
Engaging forearms, middle of the ring.
We also got to see the return of the Hey Bailey song.
Title defense since WrestleMania, with the exception of the one Tiffany messed up a few weeks ago.
I wanna know if you could be my girl.
Few times in WWE have we seen the camera shake, but Leon was so loud the whole building felt like it was moving.
I got goosebumps listening to that.
Backlash France was certainly a show for the record books. After the debacle of the 2014 Rumble, something we'll touch on later,
Yo, Paris, y'all better bring it. Y'all better bring that same energy Leon fucking brought, man. Just listening to that again, bro. That shit, bro, gave me goosebumps, man. Chills down my spine and all that. I love that energy, man. Y'all better bring that shit to Paris too, man.
fans watched the 2015
Same
installment
country,
with faith.
France.
The majority wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble match, not Roman Reigns. When Bryan got eliminated after being in the match for just 10 minutes, the Philadelphia audience were beside themselves.
Bray Wyatt eliminates Daniel Bryan.
They were infuriated by the decision to eliminate Daniel and made it known for the rest of the Rumble.
Crowd here is still reeling over the fact that their favorite Daniel Bryan got eliminated.
The boos continued until Roman entered, where at that point they got even louder.
The big dog.
Exactly 1 year on from his departure, CM Punk's name emanated throughout the arena, just as it did during most WWE shows during this period.
Damn, look at the difference now, man. The Royal Rumble's not the same anymore. That shit's in stadiums now.
As each fan favorite got picked off and thrown out, this train wreck of a match reached its climax, with Big Show and Kane of all people in the final three.
That was terrible. I remember this.
Even Reigns' cousin The Rock couldn't stop the boos, as Roman won the worst Royal Rumble
I
match
just
in
said this
history.
too.
The Great One's facial expression during the celebrations told the whole story. Money in the Bank 2018 was another example of fans not caring
Oh,
for Roman
God,
Reigns.
Jinder
His match with
Mahal.
Jinder Mahal was a stinker, but the Chicago faithful made the most of it by making themselves the entertainment. They started out by reminding us of their hometown hero.
Simply a spectator, much like we are.
Next, there were NXT and Rusev Day chants. There was also a quick review of the match so far.
He's looking to strategize with Sunil.
Quick review.
Well, certainly
Boring.
And I do like the
It's
game
Jinder
plan.
Mahal,
I don't
bro,
he gets
like-
sucked in or the rest of us.
Chi-Town then showed appreciation for someone they couldn't see.
20, 30 minutes deep, and the big dog somehow finds
A beach ball was confiscated in the crowd, which drew asshole chants from the security
I
guard. who
remember
took
the
it.
beach ball
Here's
days.
what it is. But sometimes when you know, if you were giving a
Chicago closed things out with Let's Go Beach Ball and a wave for good measure.
boy Roman.
Roman won with a spear after he and Jinder played second fiddle to the crowd for 15 minutes. The original black and gold NXT fans were always for the product, but would sometimes get riled up if what they were seeing annoyed them. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe's match at NXT TakeOver Dallas is a perfect example. It's a match the fans really wanted to enjoy, but outside forces prevented this from happening. Joe got busted open early on,
Finn Balor.
which led to the ref and medics constantly stepping in to try and clean up his eye, much to the dismay of the crowd.
And again, the official was trying to. Joe got caught, now hit to the wardrobe.
With Joe seemingly now all cleaned up, it was time to get back to business. Sadly, Joe began bleeding again since he'd been
Oh,
cut.
man,
This meant there were
Joe.
further stoppages.
Samoa Joe.
The final few minutes finished
Joe's
out
like,
with
yeah, let me
Finn Balor
bleed,
retaining
cuz.
the NXT title. However, the dozens of stops completely ruined the flow, meaning the fans' frustration took center stage. NXT TakeOver London was one of NXT's most memorable shows, thanks to the UK crowd, who had an insatiable energy the whole night. The opener starred Asuka, who London were heavily in favor of.
Undefeated Oscar.
High-profile signing to the women's division here in Lowe's for men.
What's she facing? Oh, Bubble
The
Girl?
tag team title match featured the type of singing you'd expect to hear on a match day in a UK football stadium. Bailey got the most favorable reaction on the show. She was serenaded with multiple songs cheering her on.
Confident. And
she can defend.
I won.
Until that happens, there's a chance.
TakeOver London was an amazing event that was elevated to even greater heights.
Man, I miss black and gold, son. Those were great times.
Where many of the most passionate hardcore
Black and gold was amazing.
SummerSlam 2004 saw numerous babyfaces get booed over some of the heels on the show. Meanwhile, JBL's clash with The Undertaker for the WWE title was overshadowed by the crowd's involvement. First, they broke out into a wave.
WWE Championship match in the ring, and these fans are doing a wave. Booed the women, they booed Eugene, and now they're doing a wall cover.
Then they started chanting for the Spanish announce table.
Well, the people here are chanting Spanish table, so I guess they like the looks of it.
When the match ended in a disqualification, a fan got on top of JBL's limo, which drew a pop.
Undertaker's been disqualified after JBL and Orlando Jordan.
If the fans don't care about what they're watching, it's not uncommon to see them bust out some beach balls. The main event of Raw after WrestleMania 35, where Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston fought Sheamus and Cesaro, may as well have been called Beach Ball Mania. The New York crowd were already upset.
I remember that shit. I watched that live. This dude just took the beach ball and just fucked out. You gotta watch us. And they showed it on camera too.
A second beach ball was then taken by Cesaro.
He fell on somebody. Who he fell on? I thought he fell on somebody.
Raw returned from break with We Want Beach Ball emanating throughout the Barclays Center.
Knife edge chop from the Beast Slayer.
The third and final beach ball then tagged in. It was one heck of a party in the stands. Brooklyn gave us an AEW chant to close out the Raw After Mania festivities.
Yeah, Kofi all fired up, measuring his man.
Rollins and Kingston picked up the win after a curb stomp, but this one was all about the beach ball. As we've seen, the Raw After WrestleMania is one of the most fun nights of the year, as hardcore fans from all over the world create a party atmosphere. The Raw After Mania 31 in 2015 featured a 6-woman tag match that the San Jose crowd hijacked to oblivion. They began by chanting for NXT star Bayley.
Natalya trying to do the same to Naomi, and she does.
It was during the commercial where the fans really let loose, with crude non-PG chants directed at the wrestlers in the match and their partners, such as Nikki Bella and her then boyfriend John Cena.
Damn.
Married women in the match by referencing their husbands, including Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, Tyson Kidd and Natalya, as well as Jimmy Uso and Naomi.
Damn.
Naomi's team got the win in what seemed like a pretty uneventful match for the television audience, since all the crass chanting happened during the break. Nevertheless, this is an example of just how unhinged the Raw After Mania crowd often are. Next, we'll look at the match.
Yeah, they ain't the same anymore nowadays. The Raw After Mania.
Raw After WrestleMania. No one was expecting much when Randy Orton took on Sheamus on the Raw After Mania 29. It was a boring match with no stakes, thus making it the perfect opportunity for the crowd to run riot.
Well, you're right about that. And you know what that means? Absolutely anything can happen in this match.
They ain't the same anymore, Raw
Fans
After
chanted
Mania,
for
man.
everybody, from people that weren't in the match
It's funny,
He won Ziggler.
to those that were retired, wrestlers that had passed away, and promotions that were bankrupt. Even the referee got some love.
Mikey Oda.
Commentators, with each one of their names being chanted by the New Jersey crowd. When the Big Show interfered to end the match, the people thanked him for it.
Thank you, Big Show.
He's holding that
The
fucking
segment
smoke.
ended with the audience giving themselves a pat on the back.
Big Show doing what he can because
We
This
are
match set the tone
awesome.
for future Raw After WrestleMania events. It would also play a role in shaping how modern crowds behave when witnessing a match or wrestlers they didn't like. Few matches have ever stunk up the joint worse than Big Show and Batista's clash from August 2006 in the revived version of ECW. After the success of the One Night Stand,
One Night
this
Stand
was the
shows were
WWE's last
fucking
hurrah
great.
at
No
the
05 and
Hammerstein
06,
Ballroom, one of
man.
the original ECW's best venues. Batista was SmackDown's
Those
top
were
babyface
great
at the
fucking
time,
shows.
But both men were truly villains here.
World champion.
Big Show tried to heal it up, but the wrestlers had go-away heat for the whole match.
You're not getting those fans nowadays. Well, they're all GCW fans basically, so you probably get you. I don't know. You're not gonna get another one night stand ever again. That shit's done. You want that type of crowd, go to GCW. But those GCW crowds, I'm sorry, they're I don't know. I don't think they're this. They can live up to the ECW band. Nah, they can't. I take that back. Nah, hell no. Nah, hell no.
The finish couldn't have been any worse since it was a DQ, something that was completely
ECW
foreign
fans.
in the original ECW. We give this match 5 stars
Nah,
for the crowd,
they're
but
they're
minus
they're
5
up
stars
here.
for the in-ring
GCW
action.
fans, they down here, bro. You're a GCW fan. I'm telling you the
Wasn't much
truth.
the
I don't
wrestlers
give a
could
shit
have
how
done
you
to turn
feel.
the crowd in our last example. And the same goes for Brock Lesnar and Goldberg's encounter at WrestleMania 20. It was public knowledge that both men were leaving the WWE that night. So they were
WrestleMania
immediately
20.
greeted with "You sold out" chants, followed by the "Hey Hey Hey" goodbye song.
In New York, that's in Madison Square Garden. We don't fuck around over here.
Madison Square Garden faithful cared more about guest referee Stone Cold Steve Austin. Once things finally got underway, the match got completely panned.
The egos of these two massive individuals.
And then we got the match back.
The
Like,
audience would soon
what,
turn their
over
attention
10
to
years
two fans
later.
dressed as Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. Apparently, they were ejected from the arena after getting into a promo battle.
And that's somewhat offensive, but in any event, right now.
Goldberg was the winner, but Stone Cold stood tall at the end after giving out 2
And give him a
stunners.
stunner.
That was to Vince right there. That wasn't to the fans. Everybody took that the wrong way.
Stone Cold Stunner!
As you can see, the fans don't like when a wrestler leaves, especially if it's a fan favorite like The Rock. The Great One wrestled in his final match in
Hollywood
2002
Rock was
before leaving
great.
for Hollywood at that year's SummerSlam, where he faced Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. The Long Island, New York crowd was 50-50 for a lot of the match, as seen from how they responded to the People's Champ. It was an electric atmosphere. 1 minute they were for Lesnar, and the next they were against him.
Keeping the pressure on the lower back. Now to Rocky chance. I'm begging these people to pick a side.
Make your fucking mind, Long Island. That's why we don't claim you over here in the city.
Brock won the title to earn his crowning moment, but the post-match was just as interesting. That's because it planted seeds for the heel Hollywood Rock character that would debut 6
Fucking
months
great.
later.
Hollywood Hot. Hollywood Rock was great.
Sing along with the Rock is over.
Let's go back now to Roman Reigns' 2018 run. It was thought he'd
the
get his
big
big
dog.
win for the Universal title at WrestleMania 34 against Brock Lesnar, with many believing Brock was headed back to the UFC. This, coupled with Reigns' polarizing reactions, meant interest was down for their main event at Mania, as the crowd hijacked the match.
A separated shoulder after that. Oh my God.
The dreaded beach ball made a run-in only to be stopped by security, who received jeers for taking the ball.
If it means tearing the title, he's had an opportunity. Lesnar still stalking.
New Orleans wanted the match to end and got angrier the longer it went on.
Oh my God. And now Lesnar delivering the straight right-handed blow.
Lesnar surprisingly won, but was legitimately upset after the bell. He launched the bell at Vince McMahon after getting back to Gorilla. Vince had supposedly changed the original finish, which would have seen Roman winning.
Ooh.
1 month later, Reigns worked Samoa Joe at Backlash in New Jersey. The bout was notable due to how many people had left before the opening bell. This was a combination of the show going late, plus the disinterest in the evening's final match. Those that stayed chose
'Cause
to
of the big
hijack
dog.
Joe vs. Roman.
He's 25%. That's why he's the he is today.
Oftentimes, there isn't much the wrestlers can do when the audience reacts like this, since their minds are made up, but the talent didn't help here by working
It's called because of the big
match.
dog, man.
Looks like Samoa Joe. No question, this pace favors Samoa Joe.
People
Beat the
continued to
traffic.
believe
Oh,
in
and they
Reigns'
leave
victory.
too.
The tired crowd had witnessed a
I would have
subpar
left
show
too.
topped off by a snooze fest main event. Let's look at one of the early examples of fans hijacking a match by
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it right here. If y'all want to finish the video, I'm going to leave the link in the description. You see where I stopped at? You could finish it from there. I think I went long enough. But yeah, man, if you made it this far, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. If you were part of those hijack moments, I never been part of those hijack moments. The last the last WWE event I've been to was back in 2019, I believe, and it was a Raw, Madison Square Garden. Stone Cold was there when Stone Cold he stunned AJ Styles. If y'all know what I'm talking about, that episode right there, you can't nobody can forget that episode. If you saw if you watched at that time, I was there, had a great time. I only went there for Stone Cold, and I'm glad I got to see him, man. And yeah, but that was the last time I went to a WWE event. Yeah, WWE event. After what? After that was an AEW Grand Slam, the first one in Queens. Omega versus Daniel Bryan Danielson. Fucking great night. After that, I haven't been to a wrestling show since, man. The only wrestling shows that I've really been to recently, but it's been a while, is an indie show, House of Glory. We're here in Queens, man. I haven't been there since like September. Great fucking shows. If you're from New York, if you're from the New York area, if you never heard of House of Glory, look them up. I recommend it. I recommend you guys go check them out, man. Mercedes Moné is gonna be there March 15th at House of Glory in Queens. Go have fun. I recommend it. When you get in, it's like a fucking club in there, honestly. There's no bad seat there at all. Fourth row, fifth row, first, second, third, general admission. You're just standing all night. Every every angle, anywhere you at in that venue is a great fucking seat, man. Seriously, great view. I would recommend if y'all never been to House of Glory in New York City, man, Queens. Amasura. Yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it right here. That's where, as you can see down here, y'all could finish it. I'm gonna leave it right here. Video went long enough, and I appreciate y'all made it this far. Comment down below if y'all were part of these hijack moments. I would love to know when and where. It'll be dope, man. Would like to hear y'all stories and hit the subscribe, man. Follow your boy. We here trying to I'm grinding here, trying to build a community. I do post shows for SmackDown. I'm gonna start doing NXT because Vengeance Day it won me over. Last night, Vengeance Day, it won me over, man. So I'm gonna start doing NXT post shows. I'm gonna check out this Tuesday's NXT. Raw post shows. That's something I gotta see how I'm gonna do it. I used to do it. It was interfering with my job and my priorities. I gotta work things out throughout the week. Let's see what I can do. But SmackDown definitely. PLEs, all the all the post shows I will do. I'll be live for WrestleMania. Watch alongs. I was doing watch alongs, like last night and previously. Have not gained the audience that I thought I was gonna gain. So I need to work my ass off to earn that type of, have my own people come to me, come with me, and just watch with me, man. I would love to interact with you guys. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wrestling. Any PLE, any SmackDown. I could do SmackDowns, but it's just not working out for me. So I'm gonna just keep grinding on my, what I'm doing right now. Appreciate y'all. All love, and yeah.
Goodbye. Mwah, and good night, bang.
See you next time.